Welcome to Pep Talks, a patient experience podcast where we share stories of promise, our culture of connection and care. In this edition of our podcast, you'll hear from Joel Gonzalez, who was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma as a young adult while juggling his roles as husband, father, son, and teacher. Fortunately for Joel, Moffitt has specific programs that helped him cope during his many years of treatment and recovery. We invite you to listen in as Joel shares how the adolescent and young adult and Families First programs gave him just the right kind of support he needed to persevere while undergoing a challenging treatment plan. Joel's story highlights how critical it is that we learn about and refer patients to available resources so all patients can benefit from them as Joel did. By doing so, we are living the ownership aspect of the Moffitt Promise, committing to share information and address our patients' questions and concerns.
My name is Joel Santos Gonzalez. I'm 34. I was born in Puerto Rico, but I've really lived in Florida my whole life. So at this point, I guess I consider myself kind of more Floridian than anything. When I was diagnosed, I was 28. I was a teacher. To me, I felt like I was in prime shape. I started having a strong cough. So I went to our local clinic. So they just say, oh, we'll do an x-ray. Then the scary moment of them all is I come back for the x-ray and she's like, yeah, it looks kind of irregular. We're going to send you for a CT. So I do the CT. They call me in for the results. And that was a rough day for sure because they had my wife come in there with me where they're basically like, yeah, we think that what we see on that CT scan is possibly a tumor. And we're going to refer you to Moffitt Cancer Center to get it checked out further. What really stands out from that day is I remember my wife was crying. The two kids were crying, Annabelle and Julian, because they're young and they don't really know what anything is. They just know that it's a serious thing. The first time I went to Moffitt, I met the nurse. She was for Dr. Shervenik, who retired. So I had him as my first doctor, his nurse Becky. Very first visit, extremely happy, extremely smiley. It was immediately reassuring. Like I felt good about being at Moffitt. So that was a good start. And Dr. Shervenik was extremely kind, very patient. Becky was always very funny and personable and all that. So we enjoyed that. I didn't know it then, but I would be dealing with this for like 4 years. So I was in infusion, and it was one of those signs. So people that think that those signs aren't read, I promise you we get bored, we read those signs. So I saw an AYA holiday party sign, and I said, let me go check this out. I was starting to get kind of depressed. I was about 3 months into the treatment. So like the initial adrenaline, the sort of like, yeah, we'll do this, had like worn off. So now it was like just very real of like, this is my life. Like I'm doing these treatments. I don't know how it's all going to go. I'm not really in the same boat as my age group anymore. Like I'm not just the young teacher going to happy hour with the buddies and being like no big deal. Did I have people I could relate to? No. I'm dealing with this crazy life or death thing that they don't know anything about. Adolescents and young adults, AYA, it is 18 to 39-year-olds dealing with cancer at some level, whether survivor or in treatment. That middle age is kind of a lost area sometimes. Like some people don't even really know it's there, don't even realize that there's people like you think cancer is either elderly or babies or toddlers and they get it and they go on with their lives. You don't really think of this population of working young adults or college kids or whatever that are getting cancer. So it made a difference there. And they find you resources. They help you navigate health insurance. They help you navigate jobs. They help you know your rights for sick leave and all these kind of things. You're right in the thick of it. You're right at a point where people usually are building their lives. It's kind of a national thing and we have a section here that we're really pleased with. Amber Skinner does just such great work with it and has created such an awesome program. Some of the best friends I have, I've met through it. KYA, I jokingly call it AA for cancer or something. There's like a certain partnership or a cohort or a companionship to it that you really don't get anywhere else. So like it was December I was bummed out. I went to the party. I met my friend John, who's a testicular cancer survivor. John relayed to me his treatment, right? So his was like chemo every single day for like 2 to 3 months. Something about just knowing this guy in front of me has done the same thing and he's fine. Like he's doing well, he's happy, he got through it. Like if he can get in there repeatedly day after day, you could get in there. So the next day it changed the game. Like when I went to go get chemo that day, I felt just significantly less anxious, less afraid, and it made a big difference. So that was the first one, and then from there I was just hooked, I guess. Like I started going to every event they had and meeting more people and getting more friends out of it, and we just really have supported each other a lot. Families First came later, actually, to the game, but was a game changer for sure. And a lot of it is just fun. They put together really cool activities for your kids. There's a part of you that feels guilty with kids, even though you didn't do anything. There's a part of you that feels like you were messing up your kids' lives by having cancer. Like there's a part of you that's like, there's things that they're supposed to be doing that I can't do right now. Things I hated, like when it was COVID and they're doing the online school and they hate online school and they're doing it for dad. And, so when other people, right, like when people like Families First, right, they take something as terrible as cancer that can be something so negative to your kids and they can make it something fun where your kids get to do all this special cool stuff that other kids don't do. And part of it is because you're dealing with something, it just spins it. Like my kids just did the whole Camp Kesem thing, which I heard of through Families First. So that's a camp, if your parents had cancer, they go for free. They get a week-long adventure. So I'm thinking, I just see Annabelle loves camp. Annabelle won't stop talking about camp, and it's like, you know what, then there's some good out of this. Like I do get to give them something back for all the time they, put dad first and all the things they sacrificed that nobody should have to sacrifice when they're 9 years old, when they're 12 years old. So that, that's really heartwarming to see people put money towards that, put time towards that, put attention towards that, towards helping your kids when you feel like you can't.
We asked Joel if he had anything to say directly to our team members.
You have a heart for this. You're here for this because somewhere in you want to help others. Don't let the day-to-day grind take you away from helping others. You can help others anytime, and it could be as simple as referring someone to a families program. It could be as simple as going to an AYA event. It could be as simple as saying to somebody, how's your family? There's so many ways. Remember the insane power that you have walking these hallways and being able to talk to patients. You can make a massive difference.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you'll join us for our next episode of Pep Talks. Until then, keep living the promise.